Well, a wonderful rendition of the New Zealand National Anthem and the Australian National Anthem. Welcome to North Harbour Stadium. A big night for the Auckland Tuatara. 2 games left in the regular season. They must win one of them if they want to go into the postseason, if they want to go into the playoffs. They've been brilliant for most of the season, but in the last 2 nights, you can only describe them as being incredibly poor. A lot has been said. A lot of emphasis goes back on this very talented team. We hope tonight this club creates history. Let's go down pitch side, catch up with Tuatara manager Steve Mintz.
Coach Mintz, how are your nerves? How are the boys feeling tonight?
Oh, we're good. You know, we're trying to erase the last couple of nights. We got Josh on the mound tonight. We're hoping he can give us some zeros early, and maybe we can get on the board first tonight and see what happens.
Some good signs from the offensive lineup. You saw some home runs and some offense starting to click into gear the back end of that game last night.
Yeah, we got a little something going there late, and we're hoping we can carry it out over in today. But we're just hoping the boys come out here tonight and compete. That's all we're asking them.
All right, mate. Good luck.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers, buddy.
Well, the Brisbane Bandits are the team in town. They've won the first 2 games in the series. They're the 4-time defending champions. But on the mound tonight is a man who has pitched at the highest level in the sport for the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Atlanta Braves, Josh Collmenter. Will it be his night? Will it be a history-defining day for this club? Well, joining us in commentary is Greg Koenig out of the United States, father of Jared Koenig, who was with this club for much of the season, but due to his on-field performances was signed by the Oakland A's and is now back in the United States. Greg, good evening, welcome.
Hey, thanks so much. I'm glad to be here. I wish Jared were here, but at the same time, I'm excited for this, and I'm glad we came over to see the Tuatara.
And we'll also be bringing Dale Budge into commentary in one moment. But first up, leading off the top of the first for the Brisbane Bandits is Tim Colwell. 37th game tonight. He's had 142 at-bats. And immediately Collmenter finds the strike zone. North Harbour loving it. Good crowd in tonight. You just sense, Greg, that there is something, a different feel about this team than perhaps what we've seen through the first 2 games.
There's no doubt. The focus, the intensity tonight is different. Look at this.
Ground out to Homza.
There we go. Already started out different, didn't it?
Dale Budge, good evening, welcome.
G'day guys, great to be here. Massive night, biggest
Big
game
night.
probably in club history, I would say, given the scenario, what's at stake tonight.
Exactly.
And if there's one guy to have on the mound, it is Collmenter. But I do want to talk about Tim Atherton, arguably the best pitcher in Australia, who will be on the mound for the Brisbane Bandits when it is the turn of the Bandits to go out and field, be the defensive team. Collmenter, well, that's a great start, great economy. Greg, you've been around the game in the United States a long time, and
Yes, I have.
it's great to see it become a truly global sport now.
Oh, it's fantastic. I've been coaching for almost 20 years, and the opportunity to see the growth globally is amazing. In 2 years in New Zealand, wow.
And to have a major league pitcher on the mound tonight too.
Oh, you can't ask for anything more, especially on a night like tonight.
So Collmenter, he's never lost to the Brisbane Bandits in the 2 years that he's been with the club, in the 2-year history of the club.
Well, we got the right guy going tonight then.
So 1-1 the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. He's not a pitcher who will bring incredible heat. His strength is his ability to disguise his pitches, and another ground out to Johnny Homza at third. So 2 up, 2 down.
Great pick.
Great start.
Great pick at first too. Excellent. Already you can feel the difference.
Yeah, it's interesting, Josh Collmenter, and I'll get your thoughts and then we'll get the thoughts of Dale Budge. He's slightly unorthodox in his release for a pitcher.
Oh,
no, you go, Greg. Yep.
Well, absolutely. He's a little bit more over the top than many, but I think that actually helps him hide the ball, so the batters can't really pick it up as well. And then you see the movement, and that's the key to baseball: movement on the pitches, because it's spin rate, and you see what happens. The ball does not get hit square.
So Collmenter, we need to find out the strike zone. One thing we have seen is that the ground plate umpires have a slightly different interpretation from day to day in terms of what they believe the strike zone should be. This time it is a long,
and that'll be a can of corn out to left field. There we go. That is how we play.
A can of corn out to left field. A can of corn out to left field. There you go. I learn something new every day about the game of baseball. Have you heard that one before, Dale?
I have heard that one before, yeah. You don't hear it too much on these shores, but yeah, have heard that terminology. And I think that'll settle the nerves. Like the last couple of nights, you just sense that the Tuatara realised what's at stake. They realised that, history beckoned, and they just felt a little tense, a little nervous. They're up against a side that has been there and done it at those big moments and have absolutely owned those big moments the last 4 years. And I think that'll settle everyone's nerves. Collmenter's played in some big games, and they'll have faith in him.
There wasn't a lot to cheer about last night, but come the 7th, there was, and you just sensed how important the bottom of the 7th was for the Tuatara. They were gone. They were never going to win the game, but there was a momentum shift. Home runs to Walker, home runs to Kim.
No questions. That momentum shift occurred actually about an inning earlier when we started to hit the ball. And that's what translates to the next game, is when you can see that you're going to carry it.
So Tim Atherton, he's had 4 wins, 1 loss, 9 games, 9 starts. He is a quality player. He is rated as the best Australian pitcher in the league. So big opportunity. I've got a sneaking feeling though that the pitching roster and rotation for the Tuatara will be stacked tonight. I'll not be surprised to see Elliot Johnson possibly make an appearance. So a good crowd in tonight too. Just getting busier and busier. It's a very, very warm evening. And you've had a bit of a chance, Greg, to have a wee look around.
Oh,
you
yes.
came over because you thought your son would be playing.
Well, yeah, and when we booked the tickets, it's one of those things where you just plan for the best, and then just like in baseball, you have to adjust, and you just adapt and you go with it. And so he made himself a career over here, and we're so grateful for the Tuatara for the opportunity that they provided.
Well, Yoni Hernandez, the leadoff for the Tuatara, came into this series with a 229 average, but on-base percentage of 407. And what makes that so impressive, it just says to me that he is prepared to look. He is prepared to wait. He's prepared to be walked. He's not going to swing at everything and anything. We go through that Blackstone, Homza, Walker, Kim. That is now the 4-5 punch in the middle of the order. And good to see Daniel Lamb Hunt come in as the designated hitter tonight. Tawera Bishop, catcher last night, catcher tonight. But there has been a change for the Brisbane Bandits. Ryan Battaglia is the catcher tonight, so he comes in.
He takes over from Martinez. Battaglia, experienced player, very handy player, has had some success against the Tuatara over the last couple of seasons. These two teams have seen a fair bit of each other, obviously playing in the same division. They've been home and away series last year, home and away series this year. And they also played a pre-season series, last year to get things underway, and there's been a lot of sharing of information. Bandits have had a really good relationship from a front office perspective, and a lot of mutual respect between the two organisations.
So Yoni Hernandez was only about a couple of series back that he got sconned on the side of the head against the Blue Sox and kept him out of a series.
He's massive. He has been a huge part of this offense. They are a different side, the Tuatara, when he can lay that platform and get on base, be the table setter, and then look for those big, the heart of the order to try and bring him in. He creates havoc on the base paths as well.
And look at that, I love this. This is very much a trade of his looking to bunt, and that is part of the theatre, that's part of the psychology. Just wants to put just a little bit of doubt into the head of Atherton. And it's something that you'll see from him. It got him into trouble when he did take one to the side of the head a month or so back. Quite a few stitches, but an intriguing contest. Count as 1-1. Foul, is that away?
That was a good swing on that.
Good crowd in. We do encourage people, if you want to see the final regular season game tomorrow, 1 o'clock, North Harbour Stadium.
Yeah, please come out. This is fantastic baseball over here.
Now fouls that off away, so that count will stay at 1 ball, 2 strikes. A great bat last night from Johnny Homza, where he soaked up a lot of pitching, particularly when they got off to such a good start against the Tuatara, and the economy was looking good in terms of their pitching rotation, not having to use a lot of pitches to get through the lineup. Then Homza, probably it.
Yeah, that changed. That at-bat was a huge at-bat last night. The first 2 batters got out very quickly, and then that 12-pitch at-bat turned into an opportunity. He won that at-bat, drew the walk, and starts from there.
Gets him swinging this time and strikes him out. So good start from Atherton. High fastball inside the strike zone.
Yeah, he swung at something that wasn't in the zone then, and you'd be disappointed, Yoni Hernandez. Plate discipline early in that bat, and we just gave it away a touch at the end there.
So he was actually forced to swing at that pitch because on the bunt, he set up at the top of the zone, and he held it there, and that's not a strike if the ball was up above. So it was, he now knew the strike zone was a bit wide, and he had to cover.
Well, James Shields is the home plate umpire tonight, and we've had first night of the series, we had Warren Van Ruin. Last night we had Josh Weschler, and those two definitely had different interpretations of the strike zone. In fact, you sort of sensed last night the strike zone was about the size of a tuna can, particularly for the Tuatara pitches.
Yes, I would agree with that 100%.
So now Kent Blackstone looking to just try and get himself on base. Playing independent ball in the States.
Yeah, another opportunity from the Atlantic League, I believe, and for him to come here and again make the most of it, it's just another opportunity for guys in the U.S. to come see and help grow the game here.
See him with a tendency to pull the ball a lot, but he does have some really good opposite field power as well.
And just time foul ball away, another souvenir. Disappointing day. I'm not seeing a lot of young kids running for those balls. They're either really spoilt today's generation or they're just really, really lazy.
They get a lot of free stuff, I'll tell you that much. Between the pizza and the donuts, balls that get tossed into the crowd.
We've seen some great catch up on the South Pizza Hill too, and if someone fan takes a home run catch on the fall, they will get themselves a year's supply of Sal's Pizza. Very good couple of catches. It cost Sal's Pizza a lot if that was you, Dale.
I've had my share.
And this time another foul ball away, so...
They spoiled a good pitch there.
Yeah, again, just soaking up. A lot of fast twitches I like to use. That's one of the pitches are thrown, you know. It's a lot of... They're coiled springs, aren't they? Very explosive.
It's amazing how little time they have to make that decision to swing.
Yeah, well, Scott Campbell, who's probably the closest New Zealander who's come through the New Zealand ranks to make the majors, just got injured before probably getting his start with the Toronto Blue Jays. We had him in commentary, and he very much said that, you know, below 90, around 94 mile an hour, you can probably still see it. Anything above that, and it's guesswork. But good work here from Atherton. Strikes out another, so 2 up, 2 down for him.
That was an excellent curveball.
Yeah. And now Johnny Homza, Mr. Kashmir himself, the Caribou Crusher.
Tell you what, he's done some reading since he's been in New Zealand. He was involved in a TAB Kiwiana quiz where they tested his knowledge on all things New Zealand. And man, he had spent some time doing some research.
Did he?
Yeah, he talked all about Sir Edmund Hillary and could locate different towns and cities in New Zealand on a map without names listed.
Strike, so Atherton finding the zone. Both him and Josh Collmenter seem to be well and truly dialed in through this first inning. But what Steve Mintz will want is this batting line-up to put some pressure on the Bandits early, get some runs on the board, let them play catch-up. Atherton. Again, another curveball, this time inside.
Good eye. Johnny's really got an excellent eye. So he will probably take a lot of first pitches just to get a gauge, especially early in the game, to see what the pitcher's going to give him.
I think he leads the league in terms of hits in the since the calendar ticked over to 2020.
Yeah, well, he
certainly did as of at one point during the evening last night.
Coming into the series, his batting average was 201, but his on-base percentage 362, which, you know, there's a big difference there, isn't it? Which says that when you factor in the walks, he is a very patient player. He's not afraid to look at it. That man, that's part of the entertainment. Regan Wood there, the GM.
Ethan Wood, his son, dressed up in the flight attendants.
Yeah, it's actually excellent pizza too. So
excellent pizza.
This time, get some
challenge
swinging.
Fastball there. Good.
So 2-2 the count. Just have another look at this. Give you an idea of the velocity of the pitch. What these guys are looking at. Yep, not a lot.
Just under. Change his focal point on the ball, take the middle of the ball instead of the bottom of the ball here, and he'll drive this.
So. Then strikes him out, so 3 up, 3 down. So as we head to the top of the second, it's all level. Neither team has scored a run. It is game 3 of the Brisbane Bandits, the defending champions, up against the home team, the Auckland Tuatara.
always a good day when you're eating pizza, especially for breakfast. As you can see, I'm enjoying a nice garlic knot right now, so could be worse. The dough, flipping it up, trying to catch it, that would for sure be the hardest part. I tried to make a peace sign, didn't quite work out. Emerson here made a nice smiley face.
Turned into a mad face.
I went with the Bronx. I mean, that just stuck out to me. Yankees, the Bronx. I mean, you can never go wrong with Italian sausage and capsicum, or peppers, however you want to say it. It's simple, but yet delicious.
Probably like a Brooklyn city, maybe, with sausages and pepperonis. Let's see what happens in a little.
Oh yeah, you could definitely chuck these around. I mean, you could chuck them out to the fans. Would be a great little promotion there. So, Regan, just a hint, hint.
Well, welcome back to Tuatara Park, top of the second, game 3. Brisbane Bandits up against the home team, the Tuatara. 2 games remain in this series. Tuatara need to win 1 to make the playoffs. Collmenter through the top of the first, 3 up, 3 down, which means Wade Dutton, the left fielder, is next in to lead off the top of the second for the Bandits. Comes in, he's played 34 games up to this point. He has had 112 at bats, 31 hits, 16 runs, and a batting average of 277. Josh Collmenter, the most experienced Tuatara player. Another ground out to shortstop, Yoni Hernandez.
Nice play at first. Well, you notice what Josh is doing right now. He's painting the corners, so it's going to create a lot of end of the bat type of, off the sweet spot of the bat type of results, and this is what you get.
Just for people out there new to baseball, just give us break down that definition of painting the corners.
So the plate is actually white on the top, but on the very edges it's black, and it's about 1 inch wide on either side. And so when you paint the black, your ball is going over the strike zone, right over the edge of that white space there. So right,
good Collmenter there.
Oh.
Well, unlucky not to get the strike on that occasion.
Absolutely.
If you sort of imagine the cricketing expression of, you know, just on and outside off stump,
Yep.
just that line of uncertainty where a batsman's not sure whether to play it or whether to take it. It's pretty similar.
Yeah, we often see it, don't we? We see it in the interpretation of sometimes a wide in cricket when the bowler puts it too far outside of off stump. So Collmenter with another strike, didn't quite get that camera angle then. So
I tell you what, you also sense that this Bandits lineup, and I don't mean to be disrespectful in any way, because they have answered every question that's been thrown at them down the stretch the last few years. But I think they're just a little wary of Collmenter. They haven't beaten Collmenter before. Yeah. He's the one guy in the Tuatara rotation that concerns him a little.
Yeah, I think up to this point he's probably been living rent-free inside their head, Dale. This time, though, they do go long. It is a fly ball out to right field, and that catch will be comfortably taken from Chris Richards.
That's a good catch, looking into the sun a bit too.
Great economy again from Collmenter. Short work. He'll be wanting to try and go the distance tonight. Steve Mintz will want to try and get every inning out of him he can, because at 33 years of age, he just brings so much experience.
The point I make, guys, about the Bandits and maybe the confidence not quite being there. This is a side that has absolutely trusted everything about their ability. They've had the confidence when the chips been down to get the best out of themselves, and they've done it time and again. I just fancy Collmenter might be the one guy that they worry about a little more than perhaps other pitchers they've faced in a similar circumstance.
So Grant Kay, the next batter for the Brisbane Bandits. And Collmenter, he is dialed in, isn't he? That nervous system's up. You just sense that everything's just working in unison. It took him a couple of series to sort of adjust, like most of the Tuatara players, in sort of November, December. But certainly back half of the season.
Oh, he's been incredible. Last 18, 20 innings have just been fabulous.
So he's ahead of the count too already.
Yeah, he's extremely determined to give the Tuatara one more big start.
Yeah, well, he loves being over here. He loves being a part of it. He loves imparting his knowledge. And another foul ball away, another souvenir.
Beautiful. If you look at the end of his pitches, the last 3 or 4 feet, the ball's moving. So the batter's already committed at that point, and that's why we're seeing a lot of these miss hits.
Well, you think about how many kids play the sport of baseball globally, how limited the number of places there are in a major league team. And for this guy to have done it, well, it just shows just what a quality player he is. But he's been a privilege to work with as a commentator too. Just such a lovely human. Okay, that one just gets away from him, but that's not a bad thing. I'd love to have a heart rate monitor on. I think Kay's heart rate would have shot up by about 10 beats. See, in cricket, they would have stepped across and
yes, they would have
pulled that sort of down the leg side. It would have been into foul territory, but it probably would have been out of the park. Okay, this is long. And that catch is taken beautifully in centre field again. So doing their job, and it is Kim Won-suk, Kiwi Kim. And it is 3 up, 3 down for Josh Collmenter. Great economy. Steve Mintz will be loving this. And so now the Tuatara, they come into bat. They've got their opportunity to see if they can just put a bit of pressure on this Brisbane team, something they've failed to do through the first 2 games.
We're due. We are due.
And I think there's just a steely focus. I sort of saw the guys during the day today, and some of the big gun players, the Kims, the Jared Walkers, just a fierce determination. There's going to be a terrific piece in the Sunday Star Times tomorrow with Jared Walker talking about his life, what he's been through, giving an insight into the mindset of the players after the Ryan Costello situation in the pre-season, and what he does to honour Costello, what he still does.
Well, I mean,
I don't want to give away the story, but it'll be a great read. It's a big long feature piece with some pretty amazing imagery to go with it. So check it out; it'll be well worth the read.
And I tell you what, write the name Jared Walker down, write the name Josh Morgan, Jared Koenig, and start just making sure you stay on Twitter, Google, and just find out how these guys progress as the Major League season kicks on, AA, AAA, because I've got a sneaking feeling some of these players are going to go to the highest level.
Yeah, Brandon Markland last year as well, who's at another phenomenal
Kansas City,
season.
That's correct. Yes, I think that's absolutely accurate. And I think, Dale, you touched on it earlier. Josh Collmenter tonight is the stabilizer. He's done this at the highest level, and every one of these players can feed off that relaxed nature, that intensity, but focused, yet play free. Because when you don't play free, you tend to pitch up. You make the mistakes, the little bobbles, the little errors. And what we're seeing tonight is going to be some great baseball.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can say we're not going to think about the playoffs. We're not talking about the playoffs. But the reality is, while you might not be doing that outwardly, inwardly, you can't help it. You are doing it. And there are those little thoughts that you can't help having in your head that take over at times. And I don't want to say that the Tuatara players don't have faith in the other pitchers. They do. But with Josh Collmenter, they believe in their heart of hearts that he is going to go out there and give them what they need to get a win tonight.
Yeah, and that's what you guy steps up, and then you want to follow, don't you? Where he goes, we go with him. Now, it's good news for Tuatara fans because we're in the heart of the Tuatara order. Up next will be Walker, then Kiwi Kim, who's hit 10 home runs this season so far. Walker's hit 9. And then Pinky himself, Andrew Mark, who for a long part of the season led the league in hits and is still having a remarkable season. But this guy, I just simply call him box office because he is worth every cent, the price of admission. He is just a class act.
You can certainly see him playing in the majors in the near future, can't you, Greg? I mean, the ability to play either probably corner outfield spot, corner infield spot. He's got a little bit of pop. He can run a wee bit. He can make a real difference, that Dodgers side off the bench, I would think.
I think so. I agree with that.
Well, I think Atherton, just looking at Atherton, I think he's sort of the type of pitcher too that Walker will enjoy. I'm not sure. He throws with a bit of heat. Comes on quite nicely. I don't think we've seen the variation from him that we've seen from Collmenter, and that just outside. And so
I think if the Bandits are aware of Collmenter from what he can do, how he can hurt them from a pitching perspective. I think Walker's the guy that they've identified as the player they want to be a little careful with, pitch around a little bit perhaps, and just stay out of those areas where they know that he can turn on one and hit it out.
Well, we saw a lot of teams trying to cramp him up, trying to go on the inside, and that didn't really prove effective. And I just wonder now, the scouting reports on him, whether they're adopting a slightly different approach.
He's been a good hitter when he's been down in the count, like in a hole like he is at the moment with 1 and 2 count.
He just missed that.
He just missed. He almost seems a better hitter when he's trying to choke up a little bit and put the ball in play. He's got so much raw power. Bandits with
Walker,
the shift as well again.
9 home runs for the season, looking to try and go long if he can.
There
and
it
this
is.
time it does go long.
That's a
And
base
it will
hit.
be a base hit, a single down the right field line. So Walker gets himself on base. Good start for Jared Walker. Nice thing now is that Kim Won-suk and then Andrew Mark. So Walker does the job asked of him once again. We talked about it, didn't quite connect. He's sort of famous for that one hand tending to come off the bat. But it was these hits last night that just seemed to always find the player.
Yes, they
Luck
did.
just was not with the Tuatara team tonight. Suddenly we're starting to find a little bit more room. Is that the momentum shift? Was that the momentum shift we saw last night in the bottom of the 7th? I'm not sure I like this song.
Oh, this is a choice by Kim to try and get the crowd into it, because I figure
Well, that's-
But he's
been
called Kiwi.
terrific with the kids.
He
And
should be
look,
Kiwi Kim. Let's
My
have
son's sitting in the front row down there, and he has interacted with Kim all the way through the series, and he's been wonderful.
Hey, if you're going to grow the game, you got to get the kids involved.
Okay, so Kim now. What a player. 33 years of age, out of Korea.
So at least what I'm seeing is not a lot of late movement on the pitches, which could very well bode well for us, actually, because we need that.
Good pull hitter, Kim. His power definitely her left side.
Yep.
Yet Mark, who's in the on deck circle at the moment, good power to opposite field.
Straight down Broadway this time. That's every bit of strike, so he finds himself behind on the count 0-2. So what does Atherton do here? Does he go after him?
Well, this is where I recommend shortening up on the stroke, try to line drive someplace and get a base hit.
So
Remember the
Greg,
hit and run too. Walker's shown speed on the base paths, and the way Mintz plays, he likes to be aggressive. So
and Atherton just reminds Jared Walker that I am here and I will look to pick you off. New catcher tonight for the Brisbane Bandits. At Lagia. I'll get you to say that.
They don't lose a lot in Battaglia. Yeah.
Battaglia. There you go, Battaglia. What I like from Walker here, they know that he can steal bases. This is just one more thing now for Atherton to be thinking about.
Tell you what, that Bandits lineup, I mean, bring Battaglia off the bench, who hasn't played in the first 2 games in the series. We haven't seen Andrew Campbell yet, who's a fine player, very fine player, one of the best going around.
Oh, they've won 4, haven't they? And there's a reason for that. I guess that's what probably the Australian clubs have over the New Zealand clubs, is they've got a lot more homegrown talent in their sort of mid to late 20s. And so a lot of their teams, they can get that consistency year in, year out. And Kim has struck out. I don't think there are any real complaints there.
That was on the black.
I think James Shields got that 100% right, the home plate umpire.
I agree. That was on the black. Perfect strike.
Kim didn't like it, but I think he'll look at the replay and say, yeah, no, you got me that time.
Well, I think now even greater incentive maybe for Walker to try and advance the cause, put himself into the scoring position. But Andrew Mark, Howard Pakuranga, born and bred, 30 years of age, had to trial to get into this team. What a season he's had.
He's won the big moments all year, Mark. He's come up with the hits in the most clutch situations. So I'd dearly love to get a start tonight at the Tuatara.
Again, looking to get Walker. They realise the danger. Any wayward pitch, and you would imagine that Walker will move to second. I've got to say, Atherton's been very good. Both him and Collmenter dialed in. And he gets him swinging this time.
A little high heat right there.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? That sort of high fastball. It's just at that angle where it's not an easy pitch to hit, even if you do happen to get bat on ball.
It looks so appetizing.
So 0-1 the count. No balls, 1 strike. This time goes straight down the middle, and another batter finds himself behind the count early. Darren Bragg, this is something the team has talked about, particularly after the first game in this series. Not getting behind the count. Does Walker look to go? He's got him swinging. It's a great economy from Atherton as well.
He's a change-up, isn't it? Again, gets Binky out in front. The scouting report.
I think that was a fastball, just a challenge.
Fastball,
yeah, it's just sometimes hard to catch up to that, especially if you're not seeing it exactly the way you want to see it.
Scouting report, I know, suggested that the change-up was the best pitch that Atherton possesses.
Huh.
So now it is Daniel Lamhunt, the designated hitter, who plays professional baseball out of Germany, Mount Abbott Grammar School, born and bred.
First ever signing for the Tuatara.
So Daniel Lamhunt looking to try and go long. And again, boy, great economy from Atherton. And this is where the area where the Tuatara have struggled in the first 2 games is actually just the strike zone.
Well, he's painting that outside corner, and that is a great spot to throw if you are facing a right-handed batter.
So Walker, he has been well and truly locked in at first base. And now he goes, looks to try and steal second, and he will be safe on second. So good running from Jared Walker. In scoring position now, the Tuatara with the 2 outs really had no choice.
9th stolen base of the season for Walker.
And that's really a no-lose situation right there. 2 outs, he gets to go. If he's out, the batter starts again to lead off the inning. So that's a well-thought-out play right there.
Yeah, so we do. If another player is out, that batter will come back in at the next turn at bat and do it all again. So Daniel Lamhunt. Big moment in this game already. Key moment. And foul balls out away.
Great swing on that.
So count remains the same. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Just missing so far.
So Jared Koenig, the good-looking man. Sorry, I was going to say Greg Koenig, the good-looking man there in the middle. Dale Budge. Not quite as good-looking, but better-looking than myself.
Bit nervous today, Mark. Haven't eaten all day.
See, that's the problem, Dale. The team read, you pick up your vibe.
I'll put on an act all day, don't worry.
Oh, got him swinging. And they'll just throw him out comfortably at first, and that will bring the Tuatara inning to a close. But certainly, as we head to the top of the 3rd, it is the Bandits and the Tuatara. Neither team has scored. Be back shortly.
Make RAMADA by Wyndham your first choice for business and leisure travel in New Zealand. Whether it's big city comfort and style, or the perfect place to base your Kiwi adventure, watching a sunset at Castaways, or exploring the wonders of Queenstown, we welcome you to make every stay one to remember. Visit ramada.nz online for details and locations. RAMADA by Wyndham New Zealand, part of the Marsden Group.
It is an intriguing contest. The 3rd game between the defending champions, the Brisbane Bandits, and the home team, the Auckland Tuatara. Tuatara have been poor Thursday night, Friday night, but there was a bit of a momentum swing in the bottom of the 7th last night with Walker and Kim hitting home runs. They need just 1 win, either today or tomorrow, to secure a playoff berth, which would be remarkable for a club in just their 2nd season. Good news for Tuatara fans. The big man himself, the most experienced player in this Tuatara team, Josh Collmenter, on the mound. He has never lost to the Brisbane Bandits. Equally, though, arguably Australia's best pitcher, Tim Atherton, on the mound for the Bandits tonight as well. And a pleasing thing for Steve Mintz, for Darren Bragg, for the coaching staff, is so far Collmenter's economy in terms of getting through this Bandits lineup has been simply sensational. Donald Lutz, who has been playing designated hitter for the first 2 games, tonight playing right field, will lead off the top of the 3rd.
Nice pitch.
Did he get the count though? He did 0-1, so
just like Atherton there, painting the black on the outside, same thing for Josh right here.
Again, this time, has a very good attempt at that in right field, but it will be a stand-up double for Donald Lutz. So Chris Richards, I wonder whether the dive was really on, and perhaps he should have just been maybe just a little bit more conventional in his approach and just waited for the bounce and looked to try and scoop it up. But yes, that just shows the desperation from this team tonight.
You always appreciate the effort, but yeah, you got to think about it. It's early in the game. Hold it to a single, keep the force in play.
Yeah, single, you can get a ground ball. He's a good ground ball inducing pitcher, Collmenter.
So David Sutherland, the man who hit a 2-run home run in game 1, on the top of the 2nd. And this time he breaks the bat in the process, another foul ball away. Not a bad effort from a spectator in the crowd either. Good crowd in tonight too.
That's an expensive at bat.
So Greg, you said you've been around baseball pretty much your entire life.
My entire life.
So
I love the game. I appreciate the nuances. I love the how do you say it? Just the artistry of the game.
So Greg Koenig is in commentary with us tonight. He came out here to watch his son Jared pitch when Jared announced that he was going to come down and play in the ABL and play for the Auckland Tuatara. And only to find his son perform so well that he was picked up by a major league team's now back in the States, and his father and grandfather are over here on their own enjoying the land of milk and honey.
Oh, it's amazing. Oh, I wish I'd come here 30 years ago.
So just a pop-up should be comfortably taken by Blackstone at second base.
Yep.
And so, again, good economy once again from Collmenter. It just shows now that Richards sort of trying to take the great classic catch.
Actually, Josh slipped on that pitch too, coming off the throw there. So very fortunate that he didn't end up hurting himself there too.
So first look at Ryan Battaglia for the series. Catcher tonight for the Bandits.
Yeah, Battaglia, so he's played 19 games, 59 at-bats. He's had 11 hits, 7 runs scored. Comes with a batting average of 184, but an on-base percentage of 262, which suggests he is another player who is prepared to take his time. He's not just going to try and swing his way to a major league contract. So Battaglia versus Collmenter. And Collmenter
Great pitch.
Owns him with that pitch.
Josh has got an interesting grip on the ball to always start out. He's got a split finger fastball approach right there, which well, the pitcher can't, the batter can't see really anything other than split fingers, and then he can move his fingers around to decide how much movement he wants or how much velocity he wants.
So just the nuances with baseball, just so many of them. A game and a sport that is just so much greater than the sum of its parts. So working with Bo Bishop, they'll have a reasonably good relationship. Tawera Bishop catching tonight for the Tuatara.
Great pitch.
Goes straight down the middle. Foul ball, so the count will go to 1 ball, 2 strikes.
So you got the second baseman sitting in that batter's hip pocket out there.
Not sure that Lutz is a big threat to steal. Good power hitting guy, but
He
not the most agile on the base path.
Well, that's more to keep him from trying to score on a single.
True.
Yep.
Great pitch.
Strikes him out too.
Wow,
So
that's how it's done.
He's dealing, isn't he, Collmenter?
well, no, he's dialed in well and truly, isn't he? He is in that zone tonight. He's doing tonight what we've failed to do in the first 2 games. You can just see that knee height when it went across the plate. Some might have thought, well, that might have been a little low, but that's by the time it gets into the glove.
But where it crossed the batter's knees at the plate there, that was a strike. Sometimes last night, I think that was the difficulty, is that the umpire was calling where the ball was being caught, and it can move, and it's not. That doesn't apply. It's where the ball crosses the plate. It's hard, even for umpires learning the game too, to always get that figured out. Wow, look at the sink on that. That's a split finger fastball. That's the dive on the end of that ball.
I had somebody send me a link. There is a Josh Collmenter bobblehead doll that you put on the dashboard of your car that you can buy on eBay, apparently.
He's extremely popular back in Arizona through his days with the Diamondbacks.
You can buy an Arizona Diamondbacks Josh Collmenter. What do they call those
bobbleheads?
Bobbleheads, is it?
Bobbleheads. That's exactly right. What a pitch again.
Again. Yeah, he is just absolutely owning this Brisbane Bandits batting lineup so far. But it only takes one hit to shift the momentum of this game. What an intriguing contest. Tuatara fans have really turned up tonight. They're just desperate to see this club move into the playoffs. And I think the general consensus is most people feel like they deserve to go through too. It's been such a tough year for so many different reasons. But sport,
well,
at this level, it doesn't always know those stories. It doesn't always know those names.
It wouldn't mean anything if it wasn't so difficult. I mean, you talk about some quality teams. The Cavalry, I think, are the team to beat in this competition last week, and the Bandits have been there and done it the last 4 years.
It just gets a little bit away from Collmenter.
Well, the tragedy to start the season was something that no one ever wants to experience, and yet Ryan brought us a lot of good.
Oh yeah, look, the impact of that is so much more than you realise.
So just checking on that count, I'm feeling it might be 2-2. Just have a wee look. Umpire will signal us as well. And this time gets his swing, he strikes him out. It doesn't make any difference. There we are. So just the one hit, the one single, or stand-up double, because of a very good attempted catch by Chris Richards in right field. But as we head to the bottom of the third, it is the Bandits and the two are tied up at no runs each.
There's been some nasty stuff at that inning.
That is.
Collmenter. Yeah, look, the Costello tragedy, I mean, I guess people can appreciate the emotion around it and the impact that had, on individuals, but the baseball impact, the flow on, some of the things that aren't quite as obvious have been just as profound.
Those intangibles.
Yeah, I mean, look, people talk about Walker and Morgan, what they've been able to do, and the talent in that middle of that, the heart of that Tuatara lineup. Costello would have been every bit as good as those guys. He was a huge part of what the team was trying to put together. You think Vasquez, you lost Vasquez essentially as a result of the Costello situation, and Vasquez might have been the best pure hitter on the team. Mincy and Co believe he had a shot at hitting 400 this year. So, and then you think about where Kim might bat in the bottom part of the order, or Mark hitting in the bottom part of the order, and the flow-on impact of what that might do for this organisation. Yeah, it's been incredibly hard. There's been a whole lot of hurdles, not just the obvious stuff, plenty of things behind the scenes.
And then we had to pick up a pitcher by the name of Jared Koenig, who came with his mother's talent. And was absolutely superb.
Well, even in that, so Collmenter and Koenig were signed, two independent pitchers that you felt you were going to be able to rely on all season. They were going to be the workhorse that had the results to back it up, and he was absolutely lights out to start this campaign. So much so that a major league club wanted to get in before someone else took the opportunity to try and sign him. And so, look, we're absolutely stoked for him. I mean, and we will watch with bated breath the next few months to see how his career progresses. But it was a huge loss to this franchise to not have him.
So Dale Budge alongside providing expert analysis, and we've got Greg Koenig, father of Jared Koenig's birthday it is today. So happy birthday to you, Jared. I know you're watching or listening to this in the
he is
United
listening
States.
to us.
And so Dale Budge is just going to step out, and we'll bring in Eric Bremer, the voice of the Brisbane Bandits, an American native as well. And I know he was mouth-watering with the prospect of this pitching duel between Collmenter and Atherton. So first up, it will be Bo Bishop, the catcher, signed with the Boston Red Sox at the age of 17 from a softballing background. Just wants to try and get himself on base. However he does it, however he manages it. Foul pitch away. So 0-1 the count. Eric Bremer, good evening. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Closer game thus far.
Good duel. You picked it last night. I mean, what a batting pitching duel this will be between Atherton and Collmenter, and neither's blinked really, have they? They've both been superb.
If this were a 9-inning game, I would be concerned about Atherton's pitch count, but
this time it goes long,
That's a big
And
hit.
it is a base hit. So runner on base. They'll hold him at first. So Bo Bishop does the job asked of him, because once Chris Richards has come up to bat, who is batting 9-hole, it will be back to the top of the order with Hernandez, Blackstone and Homza. They've got to get runs on the board. They've got to put some pressure on the Brisbane Bandits. You sense this team is a different side tonight. The thing with Atherton, he just is throwing strikes all night. You talked about painting the corners with those pitches. He doesn't look even remotely like he's going to walk anybody.
31 pitches, 25 for strikes for Atherton. He has been pumping the zone.
Again, great opportunity here, but that is a fly ball. The catch should be comfortably taken at centre field. Bo Bishop will be held on first, so the first out for the Tuatara. But Yoni Hernandez, Kent Blackstone, Homza to come.
We just missed that, just under that pitch.
Just didn't quite get there, Chris Richards, did he?
First time an out was recorded by a Bandits fielder. The first 6 outs of the game came via strikeout.
Well, pitcher's duels are amazing, aren't they?
Now, if that was at the Brisbane home ground, would that have been a home run? Well, they tell me it's pretty short. They tell me it's pretty short at your home ground.
It is short. I don't think that would have left the yard, but maybe close.
Okay, so Hernandez, he is a player. This is the thing with Atherton. There's just been nothing loose. It's arguably that sort of slider, and Hernandez will ground out to shortstop, and there will be the double play here. And it'll be as simple as that, 3 up, 3 down. So as we head to the top of the 4th, it is the Brisbane Bandits and the Auckland Tuatara scoreless.
I'm sexy and I'm
Would you like to run your own business and get out from behind that desk? Become a Kelly Sports franchisee. Join a national movement and help transform future generations. We'll provide all the necessary training. Get in touch today at kellysports.co.nz.
Makita is changing the way you work outdoors with its complete system of battery-powered, cordless outdoor power equipment that delivers the runtime and power of petrol without the hassles. Makita's fast-charging lithium-ion batteries and technology powers over 225 products to deliver unmatched performance. The LXT cordless system takes you from power tools to outdoor power equipment to get the job done. Makita, rule the outdoors.
When was the last time you experienced something exciting? When was the last time you experienced luxury and sheer elegance? When was the last time you experienced complete bliss? Have you driven a Ford lately? Test drive one today at John Andrew Ford on the corner of Great North Road in Newton. Number 1 by choice, not by chance. We love saying that.
North Harbour is the venue. It is America's favourite pastime, the sport of baseball. It is the top of the 4th, and it is a scoreless game so far, an intriguing contest between 2 world-class pitchers, and Tim Atherton and the man on the mound for the Auckland Tuatara, Josh Collmenter, and this is something different. I'm not sure that that'll be a run on base, so good change up here from the Brisbane Bandits, just looking to try and mix it up a little bit, and so Logan Wade, just the bunt, and just caught everybody off guard a little bit.
That's called a drag bunt, and it was done very well, executed very well. And Josh fell again coming off the hill. He slipped a couple times tonight. That mound may be a little loose, but that was a great bunt, well executed.
So we talk about little moments in sport that can change games. Is that one of them right there? Because it doesn't get any easier, because the man stepping up now has been simply superb. Just his 17th game tonight. Where's Darville? He's had 53 at-bats, 18 hits, and 16 runs scored. So how good has he been in terms of an acquisition for the club, Eric Bremer?
He's come up big, in part because of the absence of Mike Margema, former MLB player who was expected to be a big part of this club offensively and was for the first 3 weeks, but then fouled the ball off his foot and saw his season ended prematurely. Darville came in a couple weeks later, and he's handled the hot corner quite well.
So where's Darville from?
He is a member of the Canadian national team. So he hails from Canada, and many of these Australian players actually played against Darville in the Premier 12 tournament before the ABL season.
Okay, just giving you an idea of just where these players do come from, but also just emphasising how global the sport of baseball is. I think baseball have done a brilliant job, as there's no corner of the planet, no corner of the United States that they don't seem to have somebody scouting, looking at. Johnny Homza from Alaska. This time goes long, but the catch should be taken comfortably.
Beautiful.
And it is taken this time by Chris Richards, and they'll keep the runner on first as well. So a nice little comeback here from Collmenter. Once again, we talk about the economy, getting the job done.
Chris had a great jump on that ball. That was absolutely just perfect. See the ball, react, and go to it. Hold the runner at first.
Yeah, it can be one of those difficult positions on the field, isn't it? You set yourself a little bit too far back and you can find yourself in no man's land.
Especially since that ball looked like it was hit a little bit off the barrel. If you pretend that that's off the barrel and you take a few steps back, then you might misread it badly.
Absolutely.
So I'll just get you, Eric, just to explain that off the barrel.
Sure, the barrel of the bat is where the ball is...
The thickest part of the bat?
Well, not necessarily the thickest part, but the place on the wood where the ball rebounds with the most velocity, the sweet spot.
Yeah. Same in a cricket bat.
And it's about the width of the nail on your pinky. That little band around the bat, and if you square it up, it can go anywhere.
Looking to try and steal, and they look to pick him off at second, but it's a very good piece of base running too from Logan Wade. So Wade will steal a base, and suddenly a score in running position.
Bandits are not a stolen base team generally, but Wade is second on the team. That's now his 5th in 9 tries.
So a very aggressive style of baseball the Brisbane Bandits have played through the first 2 games and continuing it tonight. Yeah, just not the best throw from Bo Bishop.
Talking about the sweet spot of a bat. When you hit a ball with a sweet spot, you can't even feel it because the vibration frequencies through the length of the bat, it almost feels like you're hitting nothing, and it's the most beautiful feeling in the world.
Well, cricket, the same. English Willow, when they hit the sweet spot of a cricket bat, you can just see the lack of effort at times. You know, it's all just in terms of just absolute precise precision, isn't it?
Yeah, that's actually a great description of there. It's effortless when it's on the sweet spot. And you notice Barry Bonds choked up on his bat all the time because he knew his sweet spot so well on the bat that he could be a short stroke, and that's produced all his power.
Mind you, a candlestick, you didn't have to hit it that far, did you?
And the winds there. Oh, he actually, at Pac Bell there, he had to do a lot.
I always used to love watching them because they'd all be chasing the ball, sitting out there in the harbour in their little kayaks and their boats, particularly when, you know, chasing home run records by Maguire. And
well, he still has the most home runs over the big wall in right field there at, I guess it's AT&T Park now.
Yeah, actually, Josh Collmenter said that he's found that AT&T Park is his favourite ground in all of baseball to go and play, and he's played in a lot of the more traditional grounds. So, Mitch Nilson.
Beautiful view there in San Francisco.
Yes.
But they are moving in the fences in center and right center field for this upcoming year, so Josh might not feel as fondly about it.
Well, it's that old saying, isn't it? For every reaction.
Oh, the batters are happy, though. The batters are happy.
They called it Triples Alley in right center field, and they're going to bring the fences in to create more home runs.
Well, it's the same with any legislation. You solve one problem and create another for somebody else. So this time Collmenter getting some swinging, and that count remains at 3-2. We want to try and finish this off, Josh. If there's anybody that can do it, it's Collmenter.
Stolen base really changes the dynamic of this inning because now you've got your league's premier RBI guy, Wade Dutton. He doesn't lead the league, but he does lead the team. And now all it really takes is a single to the outfield to score the speedy Wade from second.
Got Swinging again. Now just soaking up a few more pitches here. Saw a similar thing from Johnny Homser last night. Didn't in the long term have any real impact.
It's the same in the U.S. You get a chance, the camera on you, you're going to do something.
Collmenter's first start against the Bandits back in Brisbane in early December. He allowed only 2 hits, but they both left the yard. Wade Dutton hit one of them.
Yeah, speaking to Josh last night, he's obviously commentated through 2 of these games. He hasn't. Another foul ball. So Dutton.
Yeah, that was another split finger right there. That was an amazing pitch right there.
35th game tonight. He's had 112 at bats. Dutton. He's had 31 hits, 16 runs he's scored. Batting average of 273, on base percentage of 331. So just says to me that he is just Mr. Baseball. He's very orthodox in the way he approaches his batting. He's prepared to wait. And this time they do walk him, so suddenly runners on first and second with just the 1 out.
I don't mind that walk if I'm Josh Collmenter, because now you have first base filled. You set up the potential double play again, and you've got Mitch Nielsen, the designated hitter, standing in. Mitch runs pretty well for a DH, but you open up the possibility of getting 2 outs with 1 pitch and getting out of the inning.
So we've got Eric Bremer, the voice of the Brisbane Bandits, alongside of us, and then we've also got Greg Koenig, the father of Jared Koenig, who was one of the key starting pitchers for the Tuatara, but was picked up by the Oakland A's and now back in the States. And Greg travelled down to from the United States to New Zealand to watch his son play. He'd already booked the tickets when Oakland brought the son's contract out. So great to have both of them in the commentary box tonight, bringing you all the expert analysis. I hope you are enjoying it.
Not a bad consolation prize. You still end up in New Zealand, right?
You were
in Australia too, though, weren't you?
I went to Australia as well. Got to see a series in Sydney. There's been no downside. I get to see baseball on the other side of the world. Back home, it's cold and winter. I'm here enjoying the sun until 9 o'clock at night. I'm pretty happy. I got to do this with Pops, too. My dad came with me, and
awesome.
So we got a father-son trip, 3 weeks together. Cool. Outstanding.
So, let's see what Mitch Nielsen, the designated hitter, can do. This time, high fly ball.
Should be an infield fly rule.
Yep. And so Yoni Hernandez takes a comfortable catch, the shortstop. I say initially it just looked like he got a bit more bat on that, but clearly got underneath it.
The infield fly rule, for those who aren't aware, is intended to prevent the intentional dropping of an easy pop-up like this where you can turn a double play. So the infield fly rule is called when there are men at first and second or the bases loaded and less than 2 outs.
Excellent analysis.
Almost like I've had to explain it before.
At least once or twice.
Oh, no, look, as I say, we're trying to build the audience here in New Zealand. We're a softballing nation historically, and yes, there's a lot of similarities, but once you get to the elite level, it is very much a very different game. And it's what makes it so intriguing.
It's the difference between chess and checkers.
Good analysis. Wow, really that big a difference?
It's that big a difference.
So Josh Collmenter, what a remarkable talent. And I've had the privilege of sitting alongside of him for probably 10 or 12 games this season as my expert analysis, and I've got to say, just what an absolutely lovely, outstanding gentleman he is. And the word gentleman in the purest form.
I give Josh a lot of credit for how Jared did so well. Josh was Jared's locker mate to start with, and just speaks so highly of Josh.
Yeah, well, I was here one day and I saw the two of them that was the only game where we've had it rained out and we had to have a double header on the next day, and both of them were just throwing to each other just up behind here in the main stand, and you could sort of see that there was that connection. I mean, you might just ask that one question at times from the experienced guy, and he just gives you that answer that just resonates and changes the way you do things, and it makes that difference. A lot of other things might just be white noise, but it's just those little moments, isn't it? And I always say that to any athlete. Go to those seminars, go and listen to people talk, go and listen to people with experience that affect your industry or your sport. 99% of it might go out one ear, but for the 2 hours you sit in that room, that 1% might just change the way you do things for the good.
That's great advice.
Collmenter behind on the count. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 outs, though, this time. Kent Blackstone looking to come round.
That's a major league pop-out right there.
And so Collmenter gets himself out of a slightly tricky situation. And now it is the Tuatara, and it will be the likes of Blackstone, Homser and Walker to come. So that is good news for Tuatara fans. A lot more unity tonight in the Tuatara camp, just looking out from the commentary box. You probably can't quite see it on TV at the moment. A lot of talking, a lot of energy, a lot of high-fiving, little groups talking to each other.
I think both clubs are playing with freedom. There is intensity, but they're loving the game, and it's showing tonight. And I think that's part of what baseball has to do. You know, you have to really play free to do well, and when you tense up a little bit, things just tend to go a little bit haywire.
Mac Fox down there too, with they're just walking off.
That's a nice kid. Oregon State product. Really like him.
Downtown Max Brown there.
Oh, Max Brown there too, huh?
So Mac's got a father who lives in Wellington, so he's technically a Kiwi, and there he is, Kiwi Kim himself. What a remarkable season. Slow start to the season too. We talked about it yesterday, Eric. You know, 10 home runs, but if you through what are we into the 39th regular season game, but there was probably the first 8 or 9 games, no one in this Tuatara team was hitting. So if you then look at 10 runs, say through, 28 games, really, it's been just once he started hitting, he just hasn't stopped.
It's certainly preferable to the opposite. You always want your best players to be playing at their fullest potential at the end of the season.
But what I like about him is we talk about the 10 home runs, but and I think it's now 30 RBIs. But his on-base percentage is 377. His batting average is 279. So he's not just a swinger, is he? He's not a guy who's just going to swing and miss and look for the home runs.
That's correct.
He is the complete player. He has that ability to adjust his batting according to the scenario, according to what is asked of him. Get himself on base, I'll get myself on base. Want me to go long? I'll go long.
Yeah.
He's a very impressive player, and he's certainly played well against the Bandits.
Yeah, we love the long ball. The long ball sells the game, but it really comes down to base hit, base hit, base hit, keep the train rolling.
I think we saw that from the Bandits' victories these last 2 nights. David Sutherland hit the homer that opened up the scoring on Thursday, but it was the singles and the walks and the execution.
I don't remember that. Did he hit a home run? Did you guys, when was that, 2 days ago? I don't remember that, Eric.
The Sutherland home run?
Yeah, I don't remember any of that.
You have a short memory. That's
what happened last night?
I
forgot last night.
Very good skill to have.
Yeah.
That's a baseball skill.
Yes.
That is a baseball skill. You must forget what happened the previous bat, good or bad. It's time to focus on the next pitch.
Kent Blackstone in his 33rd game. In fact, 32nd game for the Tuatara. Goes long this time. Blackstone goes long. It is gone from Blackstone. Yes, it is. Kent Blackstone brings North Harbour Stadium to its feet. And finally, some good news. Wonderful play. Wow, the crowd loved that. Kent Blackstone, on behalf of all Tuatara fans, we love you. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby, right.
Well, Eric Bremer, you're not smiling, and you don't have to smile because you are the voice of the Bandits. I tell you what, though, there wasn't much in it, though, was it? It only just dropped over that right field home run fence.
And we talked last night about how there's no warning track here. Good job by Lutz to know where the fence was regardless and put up a pretty good effort. The home run has been the one enemy of Tim Atherton this year. That's his team-leading 9th that he's allowed. You look at his success, that's really the only thing that you can knock against him in this 2019-20 season.
Greg, we were just talking about our music. We've got the same music taste. We like Led Zeppelin,
right.
We like a little bit of Ronnie James Dio, Rainbow, but we should sing a love song together, shouldn't we? Love is in the air.
I love it, right?
Everywhere I look around.
Keep it under 30 seconds, public domain.
Okay, Johnny Homser, but he will ground out to second.
Hey, well, that's a lot. That's a well-struck ball right there, though. So they're starting to square some balls up. That's good.
Now, Jared Walker up next. So good comeback here from Atherton.
Well, it sure is nice to have a lead, isn't it?
Well, it is. I think they'd like a more comfortable buffer than that. This was always going to be a tight game tonight with the quality of pitches and looking at the form of the two pitchers coming into this, Eric.
Yeah, I was talking to a couple of fans before the game here at the stadium, and they asked me my prediction. I didn't say who I thought was going to win, but I said that home runs are probably going to play a big factor because with two good pitchers on the mound, it's tough to manufacture runs. It's tough to string together 3 or 4 hits in a row. You have to use the long ball, and that's what the Tuatara have done to take the first lead.
Yeah, great pitch from Atherton then. I tell you what, that's just one of those, doesn't matter who's at the plate. Yeah, you just got to just concede then. That was Atherton, all class. Boy, he's a quality player, isn't he? Atherton, has he had time in the major leagues?
Atherton spent some time in the Minnesota Twins minor league system, did not make it to Major League Baseball, but he is the ace, many would say, of the Australian national team.
We'll get some swinging.
That's a beautiful curveball right there.
0-2.
In the Premier 12 tournament a few months ago, just before the ABL season began, Atherton got the winning decision in Team Australia's victory over Team USA, which is a win that they'll be talking about for years to come.
Yeah, it surprises me because, you know, there's been Chris Coleman, the voice of the Canberra Cavalry, is telling me I think 31 or 32 Australian players have made the major leagues, yet it still barely gets the publicity. Where I was saying in New Zealand, if one legitimate New Zealander ends up making the majors, it'll be big news here. We will follow that team. It'll be big. It'll be great for the sport. And I guess sometimes that's the difference between having a small population versus a larger population, where, and you're so far on the other side of the world, that we do want to be on the big stage. We're going to celebrate players who establish themselves on the big stage in any sport. Stephen Adams in basketball with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Well, this time, Walker shows a little bit of patience.
Just give it a couple of years. It's, I mean, with the success of the second season here with the Tuatara, I think baseball New Zealand only has up to go.
And the same could be said from my perspective looking at the game in Australia. It is probably what most would consider a niche sport, but the baseball community within Australia is as devoted as any that I've seen.
Well, I will argue across the board, gets Walker swinging. He'll be disappointed with that. It was never really there to hit. It was a replay of the previous pitch, and that again just shows Atherton. I talk about this almost being like poker. You're often not playing the actual pitch, are you? You're sort of playing the face, you're playing the man. It's poker face, and what do you think he's going to throw? And so Kim steps up. Come on, sing along, boys. I prefer Johnny Holmes's Kashmir, to be honest. So Kiwi Kim up. Boy, can he hit 11? Can he go again? What a player. What a season he's had. But he coming up against a quality player in Tim Atherton. Straight down Broadway,
yes,
so one ball, one
Broadway
strike.
correct. Wow.
Darren Bragg there, hitting coach for the Tuatara. The other big loss too for the Tuatara has been DJ Carrasco being picked up by New York Mets AAA set up in terms of being pitching coach for them, and he's been, you know, he was huge in terms of what he was doing with this pitching rotation for the Tuatara. Another one lost because of success. This time Kiwi Kim, single to left field, base hit.
Oh, that's a very valid point. I've been talking with Jared back in the States, and he says DJ's loss is significant a loss the entire season.
It's Josh Morgan, yeah. You know, Eric, we forget that, don't we, in terms of the impact that the coaching staff, quite how specific the roles are within each team, and just the impact that they do have, because what we've tried to demonstrate throughout the 19 games of the regular season here at home is just the subtleties of the game, and those guys are geniuses in those areas.
Yeah, I think sometimes there's a misconception that at this level of the game, all the players are finished products. That is far from the case, while the general type of player, first pitch is strike. The general type of player has been established by the time you reach the age of 20 to 22 years old. The coaches at this level are able to take you, if they're a good coach, to that next level.
Well, they're just there to take the guesswork out, aren't they? And they're just there sometimes just to remind you about how simple it can often be. And I guess at times you can have that, what we call paralysis by over-analysis. You see it a lot in golf. And you don't want so many aspects to sport these days, so much sports science, and everybody's got a piece of advice for you. And sometimes it's like, yeah, that's great, but you just got to take little bits of it. And it always annoys me when I see 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds being inundated with sports science. It's like, just practice, practice, practice. Work on little things, step by step.
Actually, thinking less sometimes is what you need to do. Trust the instincts, trust your own abilities, and you'll see how that plays. And again, that goes back to playing free. I think that's really the biggest part of baseball that I teach all the kids from Little League on.
Well, you know, like I say, we'll see pitches that are slightly unorthodox. The last thing you want is somebody coming in and saying, well, we need to make you orthodox. Well, hang on a minute, I've got to this level. I'm clearly doing something right. You know, I'm happy to make some evolution, subtle evolution, but I don't want a revolution in the way my biomechanics
That's
work.
absolutely correct, and I can speak to that personally from Jared's experience. In college at Old Dominion University, a pitching coach tried to change him, and he went from being drafted the year before out of junior college at Central Arizona, and then struggling at Division I baseball. Who would have thunk?
Well, the sport where you see it most is probably golf.
Oh, yes.
Always changing it. And sometimes it's just... So Andrew Mark, can he continue to build his reputation? This time, low. So Mark reads that well. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That pitch might have been exactly where Atherton wanted it. Ahead in the count, you don't necessarily want to give Mark anything too good to hit. You see if he chases. He didn't, and now you come back 1-2, and maybe you throw something a little closer to the strike zone.
A wonderful in-depth analysis from Eric Bremer, the voice of the Brisbane Bandits. And where in the States are you from, Eric?
Originally from Minnesota.
Yep.
But went to school in Illinois, and I've done baseball announcing in Cape Cod, Mississippi, Colorado, and this past year in Virginia.
So are you a Minnesota Twins fan?
Grew up a Minnesota Twins fan, yeah.
Right on.
Yep.
Kirby Puckett days?
I was after the Kirby Puckett days, but in fact, my first Twins game was Kirby Puckett's last.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I was living in Japan, actually, when the Minnesota Twins were sort of dominant against the Atlanta Braves, I think, at the time. And then I was lucky enough to head to Canada in 98, 99. But I'd seen the Blue Jays, I think, following the Twins, wasn't it? 93,
yep.
94.
Minnesota Twins won in 1991 over the Braves, and then the Blue Jays went back-to-back in 92 and 93.
Was it 92, 93? Correct. Walk-off home run from Joe Carter.
That's correct. My local pitching coach that I work with, Mark Eichhorn, pitched for the Blue Jays for many years, and he's been working with Jared in the past too, and it's nice to have that talent and that new, again, the explanations of what to do, why to do it when they recognize the good talent, and how to help take it to the next level.
Talking of base stealing too, always remember, was it Ricky Henderson? Ricky Henderson, the great base stealer.
Oh, yeah.
Was he with the Oakland A's, Henderson?
Along with several other teams over the course of his
Oakland A's, New York Yankees. Ricky's a character. He talks about himself in the third person. Ricky's going to steal a base today.
Ricky's going to steal a base today. I have a saying, don't write checks with your mouth your body can't cash, but in this case, he could cash it, couldn't he? Anyway, let's
all-time stolen base king in Major League Baseball.
Let's get back to the baseball, because it is intriguing contest. It is a key moment in this game, potentially. 2-2 is the count. Andrew Mark, 2 outs for the Tuatara. Atherton looking to try and tidy it up, and this time Mark will just be a pop-up, and the second baseman should come around and take a comfortable catch and bring the Tuatara inning to a close. So a very good catch in the finish, taken by Grant Kay. And so as we now head to the top of the 5th, the good news is it's the Auckland Tuatara leading the defending champions, the Brisbane Bandits, 1-0.
Make RAMADA by Wyndham your first choice for business and leisure travel in New Zealand. Whether it's big city comfort and style, or the perfect place to base your Kiwi adventure, watching a sunset at Castaways, or exploring the wonders of Queenstown. we welcome you to make every stay one to remember. Visit ramada.nz online for details and locations. RAMADA by WYNDHAM, New Zealand, part of the Marsden Group.
Are you looking for a healthy activity program for your kids? Enroll them in a Kelly Sports after-school or holiday program, and they'll learn essential life skills in an exciting, fun, and safe environment. Have a kid's birthday coming up? Make it an active one with a Kelly Sports-themed birthday party. Join the thousands of other kids around the country in the national movement that is Kelly Sports. Check it out and book online today at kellysports.co.nz. See you there!
Good news for Tuatara fans. They lead 1-0 as we head to the top of the fifth. Josh Collmenter is still on the mound. It has been just a wonderful battle between him and Tim Atherton. The 1 run scored, and that was a solo home run to Kent Blackstone in the bottom of the fourth. Alongside of me, we've got the voice of the Brisbane Bandits, Eric Bremer, and we also have out of the United States as well, Greg Koenig, the father of Jared Koenig.
Out of play.
And so great to have expert analysis from two gentlemen who are absolute students of the game.
Well, thanks for letting me in the booth anyways. I'm enjoying this to no end.
I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, isn't that great?
No, it's great to have you here, Greg, because clearly Jared, you know, hopefully he goes on and plays in the majors, having signed for the Oakland, and it'll always be really special for this club that this was a stepping stone to that, and it's great for the league as well. It's great for the ABL, and that's really, really important.
I can't say enough about the Tuatara and the organization, the class. This is fantastic.
Gets Collmenter, gets him swinging, and strikes him out. So great economy from Collmenter through 5 so far.
So Tuatara fans, come on out to the field here. Get to see this live. You should come out. It's a fantastic experience.
This actually, Greg, you'd be aware of being an American. You know who the All Blacks are. Most people know the name the All Blacks. They don't necessarily know that much about them, but pretty much when you travel as a New Zealand, the All Blacks. Here, one of their most famous victories back in 2017 beat South Africa, who won the World Cup last year here, 57 points to 0, which is something that doesn't happen very often. But funny, 2 years later, they're going to win the World Cup, and we sort of, you know, it's sport's funny, isn't it?
Sports are funny. Boy, that ball was funny off the bat.
So David Sutherland up at bat, wearing number 43. Do the Brisbane Bandits, they choose their numbers for any particular reason?
Some of them have personal connections.
This time he goes long, Sutherland, and that is a great catch. Wow! One of the great catches. But the runner will still go around to second. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Richards. That is just pure genius. What a moment. Is that the moment that we'll see the Bandits go through, the Tuatara go through to the playoffs?
That could be the catch of the year.
That might just be arguably the greatest catch in the short history of the Tuatara franchise.
Fearless.
I said it earlier to Kent Blackstone, but Chris Richards, on behalf of the Tuatara fans, we love you.
Wow. Wow, wow, and more wow. That was fantastic baseball right there. Look at that. He laid out into the fence, no regard for his body, made the catch.
I've said it a couple times, there's no warning track here, and that is a temporary fence. So to go into the fence full bore with no regard for your body is that's a playoff play right
That's
there.
a playoff play. That's how the game could turn right there, and maybe we get this win tonight. Right now, I'm feeling very good based on that.
Well, I'd love to see. I mean, I think both these teams deserve to go through the playoffs. And then equally, though, you look at the Canberra Cavalry as well, and then you go through the other division, and you've got Adelaide, you've got Melbourne, and the Perth Heat, who was the very first series that we had here in New Zealand, and they had an impressive lineup.
Yes.
It's so incredibly close. There is nothing in it. It's Collmenter.
Beautiful.
Boy, just dialed in Collmenter, isn't he? I don't think I've seen him pitch better than what we're seeing tonight.
This is amazing. Speaking of Perth, I've been following Dylan Unsworth because, boy, he's had a year.
Oh,
nice.
Gets him swinging too, and that's
wow.
it. Boy, the Brisbane Bandits, 3 up, 3 down, just like that. Momentum swingers, you sense it is. Still to come, though. The bottom of the 5th, it'll be the Tuatara hitters who will look to try and extend this 1-0 lead.
Josh was the first
What
person.
a game of baseball.
Josh was the first person to greet Richards as he came in. What more can you say? The pitcher's respecting his outfielder for that play. That pitcher's, Josh is just going to go out there and deal the rest of the night. This is amazing.
One more look at this play. My goodness.
And have a look at this one more time. What commitment. Look at just dips, he reaches, gets the glove out. Oh.
Wow.
What do you say? What do you say?
That's going to be all over Twitter tonight.
Oh, yeah. Bounced off the fence like a trampoline.
The crowds are building, from what we saw in the very first game of the very first series, just in this second season, to what we see tonight. The crowds are starting to come along. People are aware of the Tuatara brand. It's performances like that. The walk-off home run from Kim that we saw prior to Christmas. It's that entertainment. It's that's bringing people through the gate. Wouldn't it be just remarkable if we could have a playoff game here, potentially two, potentially go right the whole way? Long way to go yet, a long way to go yet. We've still got to get through another 2 inning.
This is great. Look at tonight. Wow.
Okay. You start singing too. We should just sing more love songs. They need more love songs, don't they?
Yes, they are. Da, da, da.
Well, I reckon they should change it from Sweet Caroline to Sweet Chris Richards.
Yeah.
Sweet Kent Blackstone. It's the American boys stepping up and doing the damage tonight for the Tuatara. But it's still only a 1-run game. It can change that quickly. And with Tim Atherton the way he's pitching tonight, who knows? But let's enjoy it while we can.
I love pitchers' duels.
And we have another look at it. Just stand back, play a love song in the background, and just let the theatre unplay. That is just beautiful. That is a beautiful thing.
Look at the face. Oh, that
kid's like, you just cost me a year of pizza.
Yeah, that's okay.
They say that baseball is a game of inches, and tonight is evidence of that. We've got a 1-0 game. The 1 run came on a homer off the bat of Kent Blackstone to the same part of the ballpark, just inches away from Donald Lutz's glove. And then David Sutherland robbed to potentially tie the game.
Now Daniel Lamb Hunt, who's already had a hit tonight, got himself on base. In the background there, some of the Tuatara wider staff. There is Ryota, who pitched last night. Now Japanese pitcher living in New Zealand, just to the right of screen in the background. Daniel Lamb Hunt. Out of my old school, Mount Albert Grammar, one of the great grammar schools in this country. Some wonderful athletes have come out of there. The great champion Peter Snell, the great running coach Arthur Lydiard, Sonny Bill Williams, so many good All Blacks. This time, Atherton comes back with a pretty rudimentary strike straight down Broadway.
Atherton is on pace for his 4th complete game of the season. He's thrown only 52 pitches, and he's got at most 9 more outs to get in regulation.
I'll get some swinging. So 2-2 now the count.
Boy, as a fan, sitting here, this is incredible. I'm just going, wow, I'm in a broadcast booth, watching a game on the screen, watching the game live on the field. Oh, I can't thank you guys enough for the opportunity to do this.
No, lovely to have you here. We always like to come here in New Zealand. We're reasonably hospitable. on the odd occasion.
Yeah.
Okay, so Daniel
Let's
Lamb
just say more than occasion.
got him swinging,
Oh,
strikes
wow.
him out.
Little high fastball there. High cheese. High cheese, as they call that in the States.
Bo Bishop to come, Chris Richards. So bottom of the batting order for the Tuatara, which will be good news, I guess, for Brisbane Bandits fans.
Tim Atherton is more comfortable than most in this league throwing high in the zone. He's got a fastball with a pretty good spin rate on it. And in his home ballpark, which, as we've said, is very hitter-friendly, it can be dangerous to pitch up in the zone. He's got the stuff to overcome that.
Yeah, that's his go-to, isn't it? That's his default setting. And from my relatively limited time in the sport of baseball, and it's been a wonderful learning curve over this season, it's just such a hard pitch to hit, isn't it? I mean, it goes against the natural swing. It's just that little bit up. This time, Bo Bishop, foul ball away. Will the catch be taken? And it is a foul ball.
Hey, fortunately out of play.
So just looked like for a moment there that David Sutherland was going to come around and take the catch.
That high fastball is so enticing because it is closer to eye level and you can see more of the baseball too. You can see in slow motion sometimes.
But
hitters' eyes get big as saucers as they see that high fastball coming in.
But I think if anybody picks up a baseball bat and has a swing at it, naturally you're not going that high, are you? With the barrel of the bat. We've talked about the barrel of the bat. It tends to be just below that as a more of a natural feel.
Correct. It's hard to keep your hands on top of the ball, and that's the difficulty.
Oh, great comeback slider there from Atherton.
And that pitch is set up by the high fastball. One of the trendy things that people talk about in baseball now, especially pitching, is tunneling. You want your different pitches to come from the same arm angle and look as similar as possible for as long as possible. Because he has the high fastball, he can start his breaking pitch up there and drop it down for a called strike.
That's a great point.
Well and truly behind on the count. I like the theatre there from Bishop. They will try and convince the umpires that was clearly a ball, low. So I've got to say tonight that James Shields, the home plate umpire, seems to be probably a little bit more consistent.
Yeah, he's got an excellent strike zone. Excellent strike zone. It's fair for both sides. It's balanced. You can't ask for anything more. We shouldn't even know who they are.
So Bo Bishop, Wellington, very proud of his Māori heritage. Get him swinging though. Great curveball there from Atherton to strike him out. So 2 up, 2 down. Chris Richards. I don't think Tuatara
the bottom fall out of this ball here.
I don't think Tuatara will be too worried because it'll mean that heading into the bottom of the 6th and the bottom of the 7th, they'll be back at the top of the order, in the middle of the order. But what a catch this guy's taken. Suddenly become a crowd favourite. Chris Richards playing in right field tonight. How big was that moment?
Let's see what he does here. I'm excited for this at bat.
So often we talk about the pitchers winning games and the home run specialists. But there was a defensive play tonight. Great play from Atherton again, not getting the strike though.
That was just a hair up. Might have been a touch inside too.
It's hard looking at Atherton, not to can't really understand why perhaps he hasn't gone a bit further in the game. Just looking at first time I've seen him tonight. Finds himself behind on the count though.
He's got a pitcher's body for sure. Solid lower half. Seems to control both sides of the plate pretty well. But it's just those little nuances again. He'll get his opportunity again perhaps.
So Chris Richards. He's got a free swing at this if he wants it. He does have a bit of a swing. And it was there to hit too. So Atherton though wins that little battle.
Atherton was the ABL Championship Series MVP each of the last 2 years. He's a big game pitcher, and I think we're seeing that tonight.
No questions.
And we've seen it too from Collmenter as well for the Tuatara, so the two arguably best pitchers in the league. Just the 1 run separating them at the moment, and we talk about it just inches straight down the middle too on that occasion. So,
hey, as a pitching coach, honestly, this is my favorite thing. I would rather see a pitcher's duel than all the home runs in the world, and that's just, I may be a little different in that regard, but it's my background, so.
It's not dissimilar to what we see a lot in Test cricket, the 5-day game, where, it can be a real contest. Gets it on this one. Richards looks to go long, but the catch is comfortably taken from the right fielder coming around. And so 3 up, 3 down for the Tuatara. Donald Lutz with the catch this time. And so, as we head to the top of the sixth, it is the Tuatara leading the Brisbane Bandits 1-0.
Make RAMADA by Wyndham your first choice for business and leisure travel in New Zealand. Whether it's big city comfort and style, or the perfect place to base your Kiwi adventure, watching a sunset at Castaways, or exploring the wonders of Queenstown, we welcome you to make every stay one to remember. Visit ramada.nz online for details and locations. RAMADA by Wyndham New Zealand, part of the Marsden Group.
Are you looking for a healthy activity program for your kids? Enroll them in a Kelly Sports after-school or holiday program, and they'll learn essential life skills in an exciting, fun, and safe environment. Have a kid's birthday coming up? Make it an active one with a Kelly Sports-themed birthday party. Join the thousands of other kids around the country in the national movement that is Kelly Sports. Check it out and book online today at kellysports.co.nz. See you there.
What a contest, what a game of baseball. Just 2 games left in the regular season. Tuatara need just 1 win to secure a playoff berth in just their second season. They lead by 1-0. Josh Collmenter on the mound for the Tuatara, their most experienced player, 33 years of age. He's pitched in the major leagues for the Atlanta Braves, pitched in the major leagues for the Arizona Diamondbacks, up against Tim Atherton, arguably Australia's best pitcher and the man who has won the MVP in the last 2 championship victories for this world-class side out of Brisbane. Eric Bremer, the voice of the Brisbane Bandits, alongside of me. You picked it last night. You said what an intriguing contest this will be, and it's lived up to that, Eric.
Absolutely, and the Bandits, down to their final 6 outs, will try and repeat what they were able to do in the semifinal round of last year's ABL playoffs. In an elimination game, they were trailing going into the 8th inning, but they pulled through and eventually won their 4th straight title.
This time, high fly ball. And Yoni Hernandez, the shortstop, calls for the catch and takes it. So 1 up, 1 down. Interesting that at the top of the 6th, we're back at the top of the order. So that was Tim Cole. We've got Logan Wade and Wes Darville. At the bottom of the 6th, we'll be back at the top of the order for the Tuatara. It just shows how similar the innings have been and how effective both Atherton and Collmenter and how economical both pitchers have been.
Absolutely. Collmenter just 3 over the minimum. Tim Atherton also 3 over the minimum. But the big difference in the game, besides the obvious home run for Blackstone accounting for the only run, the Bandits have been unsuccessful with men in scoring position. They're 0 for 5 with a man at second base tonight.
Get some swinging Collmenter. How deceptive is he? How good is he?
I know we've got a lot of Bandits fans watching at a watch party back in Brisbane. They're hopeful that the Bandits can win this game and force tomorrow's game to mean something.
And this time it should be just a little ground out to Kent Blackstone at second and gets the job done. So 2 up, 2 down. And we just want to welcome all of our Brisbane Bandits fans and baseball fans. And I'm not going to apologise for putting a slight Kiwi spin on things. As we've said in the past, we're trying to build the game here. And it's just a privilege to be a part of this league. It's a privilege to be playing Brisbane. Brisbane have set the standards. The reason why the Tuatara have, spent so much time in terms of the recruitment, and because it's teams like Brisbane who have just set such a high standard.
Wes Darville almost hit it out to right field his last time up. He's 0 for 2.
Yeah, he swings for that pitch. Great asset he's been.
One thing to keep in mind with the Bandits is their leading home run hitter, Jeremy Martinez, is actually on the bench right now. Martinez is a catcher, and Ryan Battaglia also on the Australian national team. Battaglia is the personal catcher of sorts for Atherton. So Martinez is a big bat looming on the bench.
They will be aware of that too. And I just wonder if we've seen any action from any team in terms of the bullpen. Not so far.
Looks like Ryan Searle, the closer for the Bandits, just starting to get loose.
Okay.
This is the season for them. They don't want to leave anything in the tank.
No, and I would imagine too that probably Elliot Johnston might be the guy they call upon if the Tuatara decide to go to the bullpen. And I know there's been plenty of interest from major league clubs around him this time. Foul ball away, count goes to 2-2.
But the pitch counts for both starters have been tremendous. Atherton has thrown only 64 pitches over 5 innings, and Collmenter only 72 pitches as he tries to work his way out of the 6th.
That's an excellent, excellent ratio. Can't ask for anything more on a night like tonight.
Greg Koenig sitting alongside of us too, out of the United States. And this time into the dirt, so now a full count. He looks fresh though, Josh, doesn't he?
He does. He was a little disappointed in that pitch. Didn't quite execute the way he wanted to.
So 74 pitches he's throwing tonight. Darvel gets him swinging.
What a pitch. Wow.
What a pitch. What a way to bring the top of the 6th to a close. So the Tuatara 3 outs away from making the playoffs. There's still a long way to go in this game. The good news is up next, it's Hernandez, Blackstone and Homza. Wow.
Yeah.
This is absolutely gripping. It doesn't get any better than this. We talk about elite level sport coming down to less than 0.0001% in performance, and that can be the difference between a good night's sleep and a bad night's sleep, or in the case of this game, 1 home run, which just managed to get over the right fielder, Lutz, for the Brisbane Bandits, versus 1 home run being denied by a brilliant piece of fielding from Chris Richards, who leaped over the fence and managed to grab the ball by an inch.
Sure enough, Atherton's back out there, so he'll at least get a chance to start the 6th inning.
Now, this is why in America they call this the greatest game.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've got to say, as somebody who didn't know baseball when I was living in Canada, I'd go and watch the Blue Jays a lot. But, you know, I came from a country where bat dominates the ball in cricket. And I did find at times sitting there a little sort of like, oh, yeah, this is a bit dull and it's a bit dreary. But clearly growing up in America and Canada, where you are students of the game, where you understand the subtleties, you sit down there and you watch it with a much higher level of enjoyment. Equally, we see a lot of Americans coming over here watching a game of cricket and going, this is going to be the most boring thing I've ever watched. But yet, if you understand the game of cricket, there are so many little things that are going on. There's the contest within the contest. There's all the peripheral things. There's those intangibles that you can't always, that somebody that doesn't understand the game will never quite get.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And fortunately, being over here for 3 weeks, I've had a chance to watch a lot of cricket and a lot of rugby, and it is outstanding. I mean, cricket's a great sport. I'm going to have to start paying more attention in the States for that.
Difficult in its own right. Your national sport, of course, in India, huge over there. Arguably one of the, you include the population of India, Pakistan, one of the biggest sports in the world, cricket.
Look at this crowd embrace the game of baseball tonight.
Great crowd in tonight. We're seeing a lot more people spread around the ground, a lot of people in the kids' areas. Corporate hospitality. John Follett, the CEO of Baseball New Zealand, is normally hosting a number of different people directly behind home plate on the stand there.
Well, the fine folks that made the trip from Brisbane, I have to say they're amazing. And those Aussies sitting out there in right field, they're a little quieter tonight.
No, it's great. It's great that the fans are travelling across. That's what sport needs.
They're the Outlaws.
Yoni Hernandez, he always has a look at that first pitch. Not be surprised to see him look to maybe fake the bunt. Had a nasty, nasty experience about a month ago here where he took a ball to the side of the head.
Oh.
I think it was against the Sydney Blue Sox. Sort of went to bunt and sort of almost walked into a wayward pitch. Wasn't deliberate, but it took him out of the game. Oh, great pitch. You talk about painting the corners. I think that was a great example of it.
Correct. Yeah, I think that's the biggest fear as a batter is getting hit. And it's also one of the pitcher's biggest fears is, you know, you just have to put your mind out of it, but eventually you're going to get one tagged off your body somewhere.
Well, good curveball.
That was a fantastic curveball.
Great example of 12 o'clock to 6. Most people growing up here in New Zealand I've spoken to don't know baseball. We always sort of believe the curveball is what you call a slider. Tends to, you know, start at 9 and maybe move across to 3 o'clock or the other way. But curveball starts at 12 and drops to 6. Great pitchers can disguise that, make it look like a fastball. Yoni Hernandez that time well outside. Count goes to 2-2.
You said in the last inning how good the strike zone has been, and I will have to agree with you. James Shields is an umpire that does a lot of the Bandits games. He's a good umpire, he calls a good zone, and he looks back at the games to critique himself, which I think is something that not every umpire does.
No, too.
I can assure you that's the case.
But you also, too, just want to make sure that there's that level of neutrality, too, and the great umpires are, and that's why they're there.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we shouldn't know their names.
Yep.
When they're that good, you don't even know their names, yet that's the ones I want umping my game. That's the guys I want behind the dish.
But, you know, as we've said before, this is also an opportunity to develop New Zealand coaches. It's an opportunity to develop New Zealand technical officials, if I can use that word, right across the league as well.
And it's a hard sport to learn.
So, 2-2 the count.
Oh, so just missed that.
Yoni Hernandez fouls that ball away. And the energetic kid.
I think it speaks volumes that no one is warming up right now in the Tuatara bullpen. You might expect that given the dominance that Collmenter has had, but not even anyone warming up. No safety valve. It's Collmenter's game, and that's the way he likes it.
Just one run in it, though. Good news is, top of the order for the Tuatara, no outs. They do have another bat at the bottom of the 7th if they need it. This time, Hernandez fouls that pitch away too, so this will be starting to, now I'd imagine we're into Tim Atherton. He has started 2 tonight, so he's through 6. We'll just check his pitch count.
Yeah, I probably differ in a lot of coaches in that regard. I like safety valves. I like a ready 5 guy, someone who is, I can call on at a moment's notice and is hot already.
Well, they'll be aware too of tomorrow's game, and with the pitching stocks depleted somewhat for the Tuatara,
that's true.
They'll be wanting to put as many guys on ice as they can for tomorrow. We haven't seen Elliot Johnston, who's been just brilliant in terms of coming in at times.
In the 7th for the Bandits, it'll be 4, 5, and 6 in the order, all 3 of them right-handed. But if any of them reach, you'll get back-to-back lefties, Lutz and Sutherland, both of whom have hit the ball well in this series.
So plenty still to come in this game. I always look at baseball as a little bit like tennis. If you're batting and you can get a runner on base, then you basically get that break point, don't you? It's the break point you're looking for.
Ooh. Almost leaned into that pitch.
Absolutely beautiful night at North Harbour.
There have been a couple big inflection points in this game. The obvious ones, the Blackstone home run and the robbery of the Sutherland drive with Richards in right field. But I think the one that will go under the radar is the fact that the Bandits were unable to score a runner from second base in both the 3rd and 4th innings. Leadoff double from Lutz in the 3rd, and then the Wade single and stolen base.
This time, Yoni Hernandez grounds out to second base, so 1 up, 1 down, but certainly Atherton asked to work on that occasion, so to a degree, Yoni Hernandez has done his job. If you can just take a little bit of sting out of Atherton, possibly set it up for Blackstone and Homza. What are the chances of Kent Blackstone going back-to-back?
It's not going to be against Atherton, as David Nilson has made the move. He's going to bring in his closer, Ryan Searle, it appears. Actually, no. I think we just saw Ken Frosch, the lefty, warming up for about 20 seconds, and he's going to run in here and face the lefty Blackstone. So this will be probably a 1-batter matchup with lefty-lefty, and then we'll see Searle after that.
Is he normally a left-handed specialist?
Ken Frosch is, yes.
So can I describe him as a loogie?
Yes. That's a callback to last night, a left-handed one-out guy in baseball parlance.
Which they've got rid of in baseball because you've got to come out and face a minimum of 3 batters now.
In Major League Baseball this upcoming season, they'll be instituting a 3-batter minimum. But here in the ABL, guys like Ken Frosch can come in, face one batter, and then leave the ball game. Looking at Frosch's numbers, he is the prototypical left-handed one-out guy. He's making his 15th appearance on the year, but he's pitched only 10 innings.
Well, for a long time, those guys were making a bunch of money, weren't they? It's going to change. They are going to a 26-man roster. There's a lot of good changes in Major League Baseball over the next year that are really going to help, I think, the game and also the minor leagues, which is going to be a huge thing.
Yeah, some interesting tweaks, adding a man to the roster. Frosch has carved out a nice career for himself in independent baseball. Played the last couple years with the St. Paul Saints in the American Association. They won the American Association title last year. If you're left-handed and you can throw strikes, you're probably going to be employed in professional baseball. I was left-handed, but I couldn't throw strikes, which is why I'm up here.
Well, I know a lefty. My kids are odd. Jared's left-handed thrower, right-handed batter. My youngest is a right-handed pitcher and left-handed batter.
That's quite odd. And speaking of odd, our viewers can see the delivery of Frosch. He's not a typical lefty. He throws from a low three-quarter arm slot, and he kind of slings the ball. Not quite fully sidearm, but not certainly a conventional delivery, and that throws people off.
Let's then talk about the sidearm pitcher.
Yeah.
Do they have the ability to bring the variation that the likes of a Josh Collmenter bring to their game because of the fact that they come from over the top and therefore arguably might have a little bit more control or a little bit more ability to change the grip on the ball?
Well, they call Collmenter the tomahawk for a reason. He's about as extreme over the top as you're going to get. I'll leave that to the pitching coach, but you can do different things with the baseball from a sidearm delivery. You are limited in other respects.
Right. Against a lefty, this lefty right here, that ball gets coming straight at your body to start with. His arm is releasing the ball right at you, and that's what makes you have to have the fortitude to stand in there to hit that ball.
So, Kent Blackstone, the home run tonight, great first up pitch too. We just saw that little slider from left to right.
So if you see it, it starts right at the batter's right hip, and that's where the ball's released, and so you're going, oh, that ball's going to hit me.
And generally, I'd imagine, too, it's going to travel up rather than travel down most of the time because it's coming from a downward position, the release point. And that is another very good pitch, but a pitch there to hit, too. Certainly looks like a player that...
What I found is effective against guys like this is to bunt, because you square up and then you can see the ball both eyes a little bit easier, and it throws the left out. He's got to come off that mound field and turn and throw it first.
So it could be an opportunity here for Blackstone. And that's times wayward pitch.
Well, not with two strikes at this point.
Go
But,
to one ball, 2 strikes.
That was a good take on that because, again, same release angle.
Beautiful night at the ballpark. Tuatara Park, North Harbour Stadium. Wonderful season for the Tuatara club.
Just for context, Frosch has right-handed opponents hitting .313 against him, and lefties only .190.
Okay. So
that's why he's a specialist.
Exactly.
And since a majority of batters are right-handed, he's going to have to pick and choose his spots.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kent Blackstone, the home run tonight over right field. Just got over Donald Lutz, the fielder for the Bandits.
That's
outside.
Wow.
So 2-2 is the count.
Great take on that.
Because it starts from your vantage point over the heart of the plate, and then it just disappears.
Outside. So now the pressure goes on the new pitcher, Frosch. Key moment in this game. So much at stake for both teams. The Cavalry with a win last night against the Blue Sox, top of the division at the moment. That can change if the Tuatara win tonight and Cavalry lose. Equally, it can change if Brisbane can get away with it. Fly ball. And a catch going to be, nope, onto the tent.
Good, how to play.
A little bit disappointed with the catcher there. I would have thought he would have climbed up the pole there and jumped on top. And
Yeah, and he spoiled a strike there. He spoiled a strike right there. So we're grateful for that right there. He's having a fantastic at bat against this guy.
Yeah, well, I want to get him on base. Just get the runner on base.
We want a walk or a knock here.
Drive one more run in. I think they'll be happy with the walk. Blackstone's happy to be patient too. Just want to re-emphasise Blackstone batting 250, but no, in fact his on-base percentage and his batting average are fairly similar. So he tends to either hit or get struck out. Johnny Southey there in the background, arms folded, one of the New Zealand coaches. That's outside, didn't need to go with that. Blackstone.
That pitch from Frosch was slow enough where I'm sure Blackstone had the time to start his swing, realize that it wasn't going to be a strike, and then it's a matter of adjusting just to make sure you get your bat to the ball. No intention of putting that ball in play. You just want to foul it off and take your next cut at hopefully a better pitch.
This time, Kent Blackstone just pops that up, and the catch will be taken by the shortstop. And there is 2 up, 2 down.
We're going to see a pitching change again.
Shortstop tonight for the Brisbane Bandits, Logan Wade. There's Johnny Homza. Comes out to Led Zeppelin's Kashmir. What song would you walk out to, Eric, if you had got to this level of play?
Oh boy, well, it's not my answer, but the one that comes to mind because I see Ryan Searle coming in from the bullpen is God's Gonna Cut You Down by Johnny Cash. That's what Ryan Searle walks into during his home games, and that's a pretty...
Okay, what about you, though?
What about me? Oh, man.
But a gangster, perhaps?
I'd go with a deep cut. Something that, you know, you'd have to look up on your phone, and it's like, oh, he's got good taste.
Okay.
So, let's go Classical Gas by Mason Williams.
Classical Gas by Mason Williams. I never heard of it. I will write that down and I will go home.
That's what I'm doing.
Classical Gas by Mason Williams.
That I reserve the right to change my mind.
And what about you, Greg Koenig?
For the... Well, we're kind of in the same boat, right? Well,
a little bit. I mean, you're an AC. I mean, you're always going to go with something that I think is going to get you in the zone, isn't it? It's going to give you that little bit of a pickup.
Yeah, I
mean, Jared, when he was in the commentary box, was telling me you're a bit of a hopeless romantic, so you might go with a love song, perhaps.
Well, I'm a Grateful Dead fan, so I'd probably find something that would just keep it nice and mellow, a little Cassidy, a little... Yeah, something. I've either got so many tracks to choose from. Robert Hunter lyrics are my favorite, and that always gets me in the right space.
Okay, I'd go Guns N' Roses, any song. Okay.
But of course, this walk-up music's fantastic.
Oh, it's brilliant. Great Jimmy Page.
Ryan Searle is the most decorated reliever in the modern ABL. All-time saves leader. Master strikeout artist. He has started in the past, but in a relief role like this, you'll mainly see a fastball and a slider.
So, now, Johnny Homza. He's Collmenter-like, isn't he? Immediately, you can just see it. He's not going to bring the heat. He's going to bring variety. He's going to disguise things. The Caribou Crusher. Here's a look at that pitch. Great pitch. So 1-1, the count.
Non-save situation for Searle, but in save situations this year, he's 6 of 8. ERA of 5.17. That's just a little bit higher than it would seem because of a couple rough outings early in the year.
Yeah, I think sometimes statistics don't always tell a true story, and sometimes they're everything that they suggest they are.
Now you notice this pitcher right here, he as he brings his hands together, he'll shake his glove, and that's just to, again, make sure that the batter can't tell what kind of grip he's putting on the ball, and it just creates a little bit of question in the batter's mind.
Struck out 28 batters in only 15 1/3 innings.
Wow.
So he gets lots of swings and misses. He's in a position to get a strikeout here.
Have we seen him go to another level in the sport?
He reached the AAA level in the Chicago Cubs system.
Hamza, this time outside.
And he too is a big part of the Australian national team.
I think Johnny there, maybe with peripheral vision, probably got a bit of a sense there that the Taglia had moved a little wider of the plate. So 2-2 the count.
Johnny's the right guy. His eye is peaking right now. He is seeing everything well.
Oh, he's playing as well as he's played, I think. I think this is his time, isn't it? Oh, that inside, so...
Oh, no. Wow.
Wow, tough. I struggle with that one. I struggle with that one.
I do too. I do too. But hey, it's all right. Baseball is that way.
Well, we head to the top of the 7th. The Tuatara are just 3 outs away from securing a playoff berth in just their 2nd season. Back shortly with more. The Tuatara 1, the Brisbane Bandits 0.
You wouldn't go on site without your work socks. You wouldn't go on site without your high vis. You wouldn't go on site without your safety gear. And you wouldn't go on site without your tool belt. Don't be a tool. Get on site with the right equipment. Buy your new Transit or Ranger from John Andrew Ford. #1 by choice, by tradies, not by chance.
Back live from North Harbour Stadium, Josh Collmenter. He has been simply magnificent tonight. There is a little bit of light action in the bullpen, but nothing really. They rely so heavily on this man, 33 years of age. A superstar back home in Arizona. 75 pitches he's thrown tonight. Has not given up a run on the board. He goes straight down Broadway with the first up strike. The Tuatara 3 outs away from securing a playoff berth. Greg Koenig, father of Jared Koenig, alongside of me. Eric Bremer, the voice of the Brisbane Bandits, my other co-commentator. And you might have heard the wee whisper then, what a game. And it's been everything that and more. It's one of those games, and it is a cliche. You don't necessarily need to be a baseball fan to appreciate it. You just need to be a sports fan. 1 ball, 1 strike. This time into the dirt. So 2 balls, 1 strike for Collmenter.
Wade Dutton has some home run power. He has 5 of them. That's second best on the team. But if you want to get Jeremy Martinez, your leading home run hitter, in at bat, your 2 most obvious substitutions would be the man on deck, Mitch Nielsen, the DH, and then the man batting third, Grant Kay. Kay is a second baseman. You would have to make a defensive change, but that's the risk you run when your season's on the line.
This time, gets him foul ball away. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. 3 outs away.
Pins and needles.
Tell you what, it'll make for an if the Tuatara win this tonight, I think it'll make an intriguing contest tomorrow, because I think all that weight will be off their shoulders, and I think they'll come out even more relaxed and even more within themselves. If they're to drop this tonight, It would be a very, very tough ask tomorrow, I think. Collmenter inside now. Why that's not a strike versus what we saw previously, I struggle with. We want consistency. Mind you, I imagine the Brisbane Bandits fans back in Brisbane watching that will go, that was a ball every day of the week. Great job there from James Shields. He's been very good tonight, to be fair to James Shields. Into the dirt, so he walks his first player. Now suddenly game on. Game on.
Just the second walk for Collmenter, and both of them have come to Wade Dutton, who has a great eye at the plate. Now, Dutton is 1 for 1 in stolen bases, but I wouldn't think you'd want to risk running into an out on the base paths here. Mitch Nielsen, though he's hitless tonight, had a pair of RBI singles last night.
We're looking for the ground ball double play right here.
Nice thing. Bottom of the order, if required, for the Tuatara, Walker, Kim, and Mark. Not a bad 3. Done the job all season. But Collmenter, he'll have the belief, be looking for the double play. Question is, does Dutton look to try and steal?
Third baseman Holmesa in for a bunt. No sign there.
So Johnny Holmesa at third base. We can't see him. So he's just moved into the infield.
Bandits have just 2 sacrifice bunts all year. They prefer to hit the ball over the fence.
Oh, good curveball. Strike call. Great curveball from Collmenter. 1-1 the count.
Well, this is a way the game's got to be played right here.
This is as deep as he's gone in the game, Collmenter. So Bo Bishop does exactly the same, clips the outside corner of the plate. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. What does he throw here?
Boy.
A low fastball.
2 changeups in a row right there. I definitely would change the eyesight a little bit here.
And gets him swinging. They'll check the swing. There was plenty.
Okay, well, he's out anyways because the first base was occupied. But now the runner's in scoring position.
And scoring position. So just get you to explain that rule to people at home.
Well, the scoring position is any place from second to third, but
the scoring position, the fact.
The pass ball. Well, so
just talk us through this.
Okay, so he throws a strike, the swinging strike. The ball gets by the catcher. Now, if first base wasn't occupied, the batter could run. You saw him button to look back, but because first base was occupied, batter is out, but the runner can still advance at his own risk.
That's the case unless there are 2 outs in the inning, which unfortunately saw the Tuatara make a mistake last weekend.
So
yes.
Grant Kay in for the Brisbane Bandits. Ooh. 2 outs away, but runner in scoring position. Collmenter will want to strike them out. He'll want to just throw strikes and possibly just rely on his fielding team to do the job if need be. Well, North Harbour is dead quiet. That's a great swing too. 0-2 ahead on the count. So Grant Kay.
Hey, well, these fans are certainly picking up the game because the intensity is showing. Look how quiet it got. You could hear a pin drop in here.
Now
they're starting to step it up.
What a contest, what a game. This time high fastball, and immediately looking to try and just keep Dutton.
Big secondary lead out there for Dutton, who runs well. And down to your final 2 outs, they may lean in favor of sending him on a base hit to the outfield, even if it would not even require a good throw to get him. Sometimes you take your chances.
Absolutely.
And at 0-2, that pitch was thrown high on purpose. It also allowed for that potential back pick if he got extended too far at second base.
Look at Collmenter. Well, he'll deserve a standing ovation if he can get the job done tonight. Real shame he takes back to the States tomorrow night. Back tomorrow as well. He might even be on your flight. More opportunities await him because of the game this season he's had.
He's been a stalwart the last 3 or 4 games for sure.
So 1 strikeout from making it 2 back in the dugout. Just since this game has still got a little bit more to be written yet. Oh, well outside, so 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The hardest outs in baseball right here.
Well, we talk about it in cricket, a batter on 99 trying to score 100, which is, you know, the pinnacle for any batter, and we call it the nervous 90s, and just trying to, you know, suddenly shut up shop and, yeah, fidgety.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing that in my seat right now.
So, Collmenter goes straight down, foul ball away.
He's not on the mound right now, but Okamoto, I believe, is starting to throw in the bullpen. He's left-handed. The next two batters are left-handed. I wonder if they might be trying to secretly warm him up out of view of the Bandits. You know, I'm sure the Bandits will be prepared with a right-handed pinch hitter, likely Martinez, if that happens. Matter at hand, though, is the 2-2 pitch here.
Foul ball away too. Crowd here on the edge of their seat. It is just compelling baseball, compelling sport.
Broadcasters too.
Looking to try and make the playoffs in just their second season. It might be a wild card berth, it might be more. That will depend on tomorrow's game and the outcome of other games around the league that are taking place a little bit later tonight and tomorrow as well. Canberra Cavalry, Brisbane Bandits, all in the mix. All still have an opportunity. John Follett there in the background, a white shirt, sitting on the stands, CEO of Baseball New Zealand. He's been here for every game. Collmenter gets him straight down the middle, strikes him. So 2 out, 1 to go.
On your feet.
I don't think you could argue anything there from James Shield. So 1 to go now for the Tuatara. They've been awful on Thursday night, dreadful on Friday night. Can they now rally? You sense prior to the game there was just a different mood in this team. Greg Koenig, father of Jerry Koenig, out of his seat, actually standing on his chair here in the commentary box. And
the whole stands are up now. This is awesome.
Matchup of two former MLB players, Lutz with the Reds for a couple years and earlier in the decade.
Donald Lutz, batting average coming into the series of 183, on base percentage to 261. So they've got to go at him. The danger is the ball down Broadway. Doesn't get given the strike.
Whoa.
No, ball low is the call. Look at this. Just sense it. Sense it. Tuatara. Can they do the unthinkable in just their second season and make the playoffs? The death of Ryan Costello, the injuries to players, the impact that Ryan's death had on the rest of this team, the success of so many players that were then picked up by teams in the States and are no longer with the club. But what makes it even more special if he can get the job done? Collmenter, this time, gets him swinging. 2 strikes away from a playoff berth. It is a club that is run on the smell of an oily rag. It's not a big staff. I've been fortunate enough to be behind the scenes, see what goes into it. Incredibly professional, but from an administration point of view, they've been learning as they're going, and it's a credit to the likes of Regan Wood, to Dale Budge, to Peter Elliott and the board members. One and one the count.
And now manager David Nilson coming out. You cannot throw a pickoff throw to an empty base. And David Nilson is saying even though Yanni Hernandez was about 15 feet behind the base, that doesn't mean that he was technically at the base. And now the umpires are going to confer. It's a 4-man crew here. I'll be curious to see what happens as they discuss. If he throws to an empty base, that's a balk, and another 90 feet would put Dutton at third.
Well, they're going to want to be seen to be probably doing the right thing here. I didn't really pick that up on TV, so this is another one of just those little interesting.
This will be an interesting call. Usually when the defensive player steps at least into the infield dirt, it should be okay. I've only seen that called when the second baseman was standing on the edge of the grass. But it's at the discretion of the umpire, so we shall see.
No immediate sign, and now Dave Nilson asking for an explanation. So it looks like there will be no balk call.
Also, too, I think here this is great just in terms of changing and shifting some of the momentum. Desperation stuff from the Bandits. Good on them, too. It's a rule. They're going to push it. They're going to ask the question. They're allowed to do that. Makes it even more intriguing. Well, nobody is sitting at North Harbour Stadium. In fact, I'm about to get out of my seat as well.
Well, I can honestly say I'm glad he lost that argument.
Eric Bremer,
sorry, Eric.
the voice of the Brisbane Bandits. He's on the edge of his seat as well. Being a student of the game, he'll appreciate the drama that is unfolding. Collmenter, the tomahawk. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner in scoring position. Tuatara lead by 1. Gets him swinging. 1 strike away from a playoff spot for the Tuatara. I cannot explain to people how big this is for the club, just what they have endured all season. A lot of it hasn't been reported. They're a band of brothers looking to try and make a little bit of baseball history. What a player Collmenter is, through 7. He goes straight down.
Yeah! Wow!
It's all over. It is all over.
It is over.
Tuatara lead 1 run to nothing. They win the game. Josh Collmenter, stand up. Tuatara into the playoffs in just their 2nd season. What a performance from Josh Collmenter. He started tonight. He didn't give up a run. He shut them out. And the Tuatara, in some capacity, will extend their season. North Harbour is on their feet. What a moment for the club.
Awesome. Thank you.
Congratulations to the Tuatara. The 4-time defending champions will not be in the ABL postseason. And that's how you want to win. You want to beat the teams that are the defending champions. That's something that they were unable to do on Thursday and Friday, but they do it tonight, and they do it behind a great pitching performance, a 2-hit shutout from Josh Collmenter.
And Eric Bremer, again, condolences to the Brisbane Bandits, but you've set the standard for the last 4 years. I said you're the reason why the Josh Morgans, the Jared Walkers, the Koenigs are brought into this team, because they realise the standard that you need to be at if you are to win and perform in this league. And that is just a great moment for baseball in this country.
Yeah, hats off to the Brisbane Bandits. What a class act, what a class organization, and what a fantastic baseball game.
And we just want to send again a happy birthday to Jared Koenig. And more importantly too, we just want to send another message to the family of Ryan Costello. If you are watching this, this is dedicated to you. The season is dedicated to your son. Wow, what a moment though. Josh Collmenter, brilliant. But how big was the play?
The champagne,
from Chris Richards. That one moment, Chris Richards playing the right field, Eric.
Oh, might be the play of the year in the ABL. I wouldn't be surprised if you see that on highlight reels all around the world.
All around the world. That's an ESPN. Da-da-nut, da-da-nut.
Incredible play. We talked about everything that went into it. The homer just over the right field wall that ended up being the only run of the game. That was Blackstone's shot in the 4th inning. But no warning track, a temporary fence. He needed every inch that he got, and he was fearless as he charged into that wall and pulled back the David Sutherland potential game-tying home run.
Still game 4 to come tomorrow. If you've watched it on TV, get yourself along. There will be another game of some capacity in some form beyond tomorrow. We're not sure when and where. We'll need to wait. But we will go sideline pitch side with Dale Budd shortly. But let's just maybe have a little bit of silence and enjoy the pictures, enjoy the moment, capture the atmosphere that is here at North Harbour Stadium.
Yeah.
Well, the crowd is not leaving. They're on their feet. No one has left the building.
What a scene.
Now Dale Budd just somewhere amongst all of that. We will try and get to him in one moment alongside of the Tuatara coach Steve Mintz. And I know how tirelessly the likes of Dale Budd have worked behind the scenes too. Andrew Mark there, the most decorated player in New Zealand baseball. What a story he's been. Look out the Australian Baseball Leagues, the Tuatara here to stay. Whatever happens now in the postseason.
And happy birthday, Josh McAdams, right?
Yeah, Josh McAdams, birthday to him too. Pitched last night.
Look at this crowd. Yeah.
I'm so happy.
There have been some hurdles for this team to overcome, like nothing people will ever understand from outside the group. How special is this?
It's unbelievable. For these fans, it's just awesome.
You've been in baseball for 30 odd years. I think you've seen a lot. You've done a lot. Where does this rank?
Way up there for sure, man. This is so special for our team, for this country, for the city of Auckland, and for the ABL. I mean, for what we've been able to do, I just think it just builds our league.
Congratulations, mate. Go and enjoy it. You don't know how proud we are of you. Well done. We'll try and get Regan Wood. Regan Wood, the Chief Executive of the Auckland Tuatara. Beginning of the season, we had high expectations, and then all of a sudden something out of the blue whacks you, like the situation with Ryan Costello. There have been hurdles after hurdle after hurdle. How good does this feel?
Oh, it's amazing, Dale. It's a fairy tale. You know, you want to win a game to make it to the playoffs 1-0. Josh Collmenter dealing it. I think we're all going to sleep tonight. I haven't slept for 3 days. This has been amazing, and thanks for the crowd up there. Without them, we wouldn't be here. So yeah, thanks Dale, and thanks everyone's support. Without you, Lindsay, the guys, that I'm wet. My favourite shirt, my lucky shirt's wet.
We're going to get enjoy it. Thanks, guys.
You to your family, wherever you are, shining bright in the skies. This is for you, buddy.
RC.
Tune in tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. That is the next game. It is game 4. Eric Bremer. We will do game 4 tomorrow together. Condolences, but what a contest. You talked about it. Tim Atherton simply magnificent. Collmenter maybe just that 0.001% better tonight.
I know who cuts my checks, but more than anything, I'm a fan of good baseball, and we saw a great baseball game tonight. Congratulations to the Tuatara. They deserve this win and this playoff spot.
On behalf of Chris Koenig, alongside of me, Eric Brenner and myself, it's been a privilege and a pleasure. We'll do it all again at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Go the Tuatara!